So digging into different government reports on franchising, I came across again the US Census report taken from 2017. That's definitely worth another look. We'll include that link in today's show notes. Let's just go into what this report's all about. They reported about 500,000 franchise establishments in the United States. The report discusses the importance of data in making decisions about whether to open an independent business or buy a franchise. And I would also add in there buy an existing independent business or an existing franchise. At the end of the day, as an entrepreneur, you have a lot of different options. Something that we regularly cover at Vetted Biz, if there's a payback period above 4 years and you're looking to open up a franchise, you probably want to go with buying an existing franchise, buying an existing independent business, maybe open up your own independent business. You could just get an existing business and get your money back as long as the business doesn't fail in as little as 3 years. So there are a lot of different options for prospective franchisees. Franchise establishments, so these franchise locations, employed 9.6 million people out of 63 workers in these industries. So franchising, people say, is an industry. It's a business model, as software as a service is a business model. So it's not an industry per se, but depending on who defines industry, you could say it is. Going back to the report, franchises represented 11.4% of all businesses in certain industries that we'll go through. So this includes limited service restaurants, where there's about 150,000 limited service restaurants, full service restaurants, over 30,000 franchise establishments, 31,000 hotels, 21,000 new car dealerships, real estate agents and brokers, 21,000, beauty salons, 21,000, snack and non-alcoholic beverage bars, 21,000, gas stations, convenience stores, 17,000, electronic stores, think Radio Shack, which is kind of dying, 10,900, and then fitness and sports centers, about 10,000. So for the industries that franchising has a big foothold in, covered in the report, 1.7 trillion in sales, receipts or revenue in 2017 out of 9.9 trillion in sales of all the establishments in that space. So for the industries that franchising plays an active role, it's about 17% of revenue. Average sales per franchise establishment were 3.5 million. You compare that to a non-franchise business at $2.3 million. So there are some advantages. It's going to depend on the franchise business model as well as industry by industry as we break down. So of the 10,000 or so franchises in the fitness and recreational sports industry, they had sales of 5 billion, up 171% from the 1.8 billion they represented in the census report from 2007. So fitness is booming in franchising. It has been booming for the last 15 years now. And then an interesting fact going back to just the average sales, it's not that it's a bigger business, more employees. The average sales per employee in a franchise business was $188,000. You compare that to $156,000 for all businesses in the industry covered in the report. It shows that franchises generally are more efficient and they're getting more out of their employees in an independent business. And then people often don't think of new car dealerships. They had the highest franchise sales at $906 billion. Soft drink manufacturing had the highest increase in franchise share from 2007 to 2017. It went up to 29%. And then different industries, it spans 15 of the 18 North American industry classification system sectors. So franchising really goes across the economy. Not all franchises are franchisee owned, and the share really varies depending on the industry. So I hope you found this report helpful. Again, there's some pretty interesting insights. I encourage you to dig through the report. Anyone that's looking to open up a franchise, looking to start a franchise, it's really good to understand the landscape. We hope that the census will update their findings on the franchising space. But overall, this report paints a pretty positive picture of franchising as a mechanism to run a more effective business and make more money out of each given employee, as well as make more money than a non-franchise business. There are some industries better suited to franchising, as there are some franchise brands that are far superior than their competitors. I hope you found this video informational, and again, check out the report.